Dear students, today I am going to discuss shuttle vectors and artificial chromosome as cloning vectors. You know already what are cloning vectors. They are used in gene cloning. So gene cloning is to get desired gene or gene product in large quantities. Example, insulin or insulin gene multiplication. So gene cloning can be done by two methods. PCR amplification or polymerase chain reaction amplification. So that can be done only for the genes, those who are having 5000 base pairs. So the genes, those are bigger than this size, then we have to go for cell based cloning using cloning vectors. So before cloning DNA fragment of interest, so it has to be inserted into the cloning vectors. A cloning vector is a DNA molecule that has an origin of replication and is capable of replicating in a bacterial cell. Using cloning vectors, long gene from 20 kilo base pair up to 250 kilo base pair can be multiplied. So the popular cloning vectors you have studied already, different types of plasmids, cosmids, lambda pages as cloning vectors. Today you are going to study cloning vector, shuttle vector. The name itself indicates shuttle means it is shuttling between two host cells. That's what shuttle vectors. They are specialized vectors made to replicate in more than one organism. This vector allows desired gene to be expressed in different hosts. So it can be used, for example here, this shuttle vector can be used or it can be replicated either in E. coli or Escherichia coli, or else it is in a agrobacterium. So we can insert this, it's an ideal vector. We can insert plant gene and we can also insert any gene of interest, and we can grow this or we can replicate this in Escherichia coli or else another bacterium, agrobacterium. So that's why it has ori site for both these bacteria. So vector designed to replicate into two different species so that it can be shuttled between two hosts. So they contain two ori sites, origin of replication site for each host. You will find this is for E. coli and this is for agrobacterium. So they can be replicated either of this host. These vectors are created by recombinant technique. Through genetic engineering, this vector is created or generated. So there are they can be grown in two different prokaryotic species. So the vector that expressed in E. coli or else in the agrobacterium. So agrobacterium has the ability to transfer the tDNA, a part of the tumor inducing plasmid. The tDNA, it has a agrobacterium has a plasmid, it has a DNA called sequence called tDNA. So this tDNA or else tie plasmid into the genome of many plants. So that's why it has a selectable marker for plants, selectable marker for bacteria. So there is a cloning site, MCS is there. So you can see the left part of the tDNA, right part of the tDNA, all this you can see the. So shuttle vectors can be grown in prokaryote and also in eukaryotic species. So the earlier this one, two prokaryotic species. Here a shuttle vector can be designed, they can be grown in prokaryotic and eukaryotic species. Escherichia, example, Escherichia coli and yeast cell shuttle vector. So this is what you can see. This shuttle vector is a plasmid engineered in such a way it can be propagate in different host cell or species. So this vector, it can be grown in yeast cell or and also Escherichia coli bacterium. This yeast is a eukaryotic cell, you know that. So shuttle vectors have a separate origin of replication and separate selection mechanism, because selection mechanism is bacterium is different, antibiotic resistance gene and all. So these yeast cannot be selected using this gene. So it has its own selectable marker should be there. So these are all the features of the shuttle vector. Shuttle vector should have different origin of replication, so specific for the host cell. Then it has different selectable marker different for different host cell, you can see. So this shuttle vector can be multiplied. If we introduce our gene of interest, it can be multiplied either in bacteria or else in yeast cell. So it's shuttling between different host cell. So it is an ideal plasmid we can use for multi-purpose plasmid, we can say. Shuttle vectors have separate origin of replication and separate selection mechanism for each host organism. It contains gene or DNA segment that is called CEN. CEN stands for centromere. The centromere is very important for the eukaryotic multiplication. It is where you can see the eukaryotic chromosomes can separate in the you can see with the with the mitotic spindles. You have studied mitosis. So centromere is very important for the eukaryotic multiplication. And origin of replication, that is the this is the replication for the E. coli. So this are you can see the selectable marker for bacterium. Then ARS, you can see these are the one autonomous replicating system that is used for replication of the yeast. So the yeast selectable marker. So there is the centromeric sequence. Centromeric sequence means that DNA sequence, it can helpful attaching the chromosome to that of or DNA to that of the mitotic spindle, which is important for its replication. So this is how it is it is a multi-purpose shuttle vector. So in the shuttle vector, the origin of replication is the site where replication of the DNA is initiated. It contains recognition sequence for several proteins that are specific for different groups of organisms, you can see. So this ovary can be designed, it can be grown in agrobacterium, it can be so it can replicate in Escherichia coli. So it is a sequence of DNA, and that it recognizes several protein that is initiating the replication of that particular DNA or plasmid or vector, I mean. Prokaryotic replication origin do not work in the eukaryotes, remember. So this same thing, same ovary cannot work with the same sequence cannot, because the replication mechanism or it is different in prokaryotes and eukaryotic. So the yeast origin will work in many other higher organisms. That's the you can see the eukaryotic origin of replication, that is called autonomous replication system that work with so many eukaryotic cells. So a centromere sequence helps to segregate duplicated chromosomes equally in dividing host yeast cells. You know that. So how exactly the role of centromere? When a yeast cell divides, the duplicated chromosomes are pulled apart by microtubules attached to their centromere, so that each daughter cell gets a full set of the chromosomes or else the DNA. So hence the shuttle vector contains segment of DNA from the centromere of the yeast chromosome, the CEN sequence. CEN stands for CEN sequence, yeast centromeric sequence. Then you can see it recognized by microtubules that drag new chromosome. Once it get replicated, it has to separate for each daughter cell. So that is by this microtubules attached to this sequence. It contains also linker or multiple cloning site. You know that what exactly multiple cloning site? It is, you can see there is a multiple cloning site. There is so many REN recognition sites. So we can insert our gene of interest in this region. Then this is the yeast origin of replication. So or else it is called ARS. Then leucine biosynthesis gene. So what exactly? This is a selectable marker for yeast. So then origin of replication for bacteria and antibiotic resistance AMPER or ampicillin resistance gene or the selectable marker if we grow this in this vector in the bacterium. So shuttle vector contains selectable markers both for yeast and bacterium. So selectable marker gene for bacterium, antibiotic resistance gene that do not work with the yeast. Yeast cell is not affected by most of the antibiotics that kill the bacteria. So we know that how exactly we select using antibiotic in the culture medium. So the antibiotic resistance gene is present in our vector, then we can able to those bacterial colony will sustain. We can pick those bacterial colony. This is all this I explained you. But but eukaryotic yeast cell is resistant to so many antibiotics. So that selectable marker we cannot use if we grow this shuttle vector in yeast cell. To grow this shuttle vector in yeast cell, we need a different marker. So it is usually the leucine marker or else this is called leucine gene. So what you know that yeast has a defect in a gene for making amino acid leucine. So in the absence of leucine, the yeast cells will starve and die. So the yeast will survive in cloning vector carrying this gene. So the cloning vector carrying this leucine gene, so they will survive because the leucine is produced. So this is what you can see. We can select the recombinant yeast cells which is carrying our gene of interest with the help of this selectable marker. What are the applications of shuttle vectors? Shuttle vectors allow an efficient transfer of recombinant DNA into yeast cell and are widely used in fundamental research and also in biotechnology. It is a multi-purpose vector. It can be used in plants gene expression or else animal gene expression or bacterial gene expression. So then it is a common cloning vectors for eukaryotic cells. It is useful for the purpose of gene transfer in higher plants. Shuttle vectors useful in expressing 2 or more host cells. It not just 2. You can having its origin of replication for and selectable marker different we can do this more than 2 cells. We can express this shuttle vector in more than 2 cells. Shuttle vectors can replicate in more than one organism. This allows the same gene to be expressed in different hosts. So we can check the amount of expression in different host cell with using this shuttle vector. So these are the advantage. Next, coming to the another the vector, yeast artificial chromosome as a vector. Remember, it is the artificial chromosome. It is a artificial means engineered chromosome. Eukaryotic cell having the chromosome. It is a linear DNA. So this can be used as a vector, cloning vector. We can use this in bacteria and we can able to multiply this. So that is the advantage you can see. So entire human genome project, it's a very huge scientific project. It is spanned more than 10 years. So they used, that is you can see the decoding of entire human chromosomal sequences. So that in the human genome project they have used the cloning vector mainly for that purpose only. These are designed. So because we can insert very large human gene into this vector, that's the advantage. So it is designed, this is a human genome project, an effort to map and sequence the entire human genome has resulted in the development of the yeast artificial chromosome. So because we cannot use other vectors, they have a limited size, DNA can be inserted there, that's a disadvantage. So this yeast artificial chromosome vector is about the size is about 10 kilobase pair and can accept, remember, 200 kilobase pair to 2000 kilobase pairs. Such a big DNA can be inserted and this can be replicated. So the YAC vector has provided a system for cloning DNA 10 times larger than those that can be cloned in other popular vectors like cosmid, plasmid and other vectors. So this YAC or else yeast artificial chromosome or special linear DNA vector resembles normal yeast chromosome. It has the features of a normal yeast chromosome. You have studied the structure of the chromosomes, so you will know that they have a telomere. It stabilizes the chromosomal end so that any enzyme cannot act on this telomeric region, non-sticky end. Then centromere, you know that it is a chromosome having a centromere. Similarly, you will find a centromeric sequence which helps to segregate duplicated chromosome equally in dividing host yeast cells. When a yeast cell divides, the duplicated chromosomes are pulled apart by microtubules attached to this. You know there is a microtubules will attach to this centromeric, and then the chromosomes, the duplicated chromosomes will migrate to the different daughter cells, resulting daughter cells. All this you have studied. So this is what you can see. There is a selectable marker. This is a linear DNA. It is having the telomere, and you can see the cloning site. So this is yeast artificial chromosome as a vector. So they are designed to replicate as a plasmid. They behave like a plasmid when it is getting to the bacterium. So we have to cut in such a way so it can circularize and behaves like a plasmid when it is transformed or when it is getting to the bacterial cell. So once a fragment is inserted, YACs are transferred to the cells and they then replicate as a eukaryotic chromosome. So YACs contains yeast centromere, two yeast telomeres, a bacterial origin of replication, because we are sending this to the bacterium. So the bacterial origin of replication and bacterial selectable marker. Then you can see if it is in the bacteria, it behaves like a plasmid. Remember, you know how the plasmid will behave. So then when it is in the yeast cell, it behaves like a chromosome, So this is the advantage of this, and the main thing is very huge. The DNA can be inserted in this and replicated. So they have this tel means telomeric portion. So when it is gets circularized, these are the end they will join, and this is the telomeric portion. CEN means centromeric portion. ARS means autonomous replication sequence, the specific DNA sequence to form replication fork in the, if it is in the yeast chromosome, yeast cell, so it needs autonomous replication sequence, so that create replication fork, and you can see the replication can be initiated in the yeast cell. Okay, then A and B, there is a marker A and marker B you will find. So these are the selectable marker that can be easily isolated from the yeast cells. You have studied a selectable marker, leucine marker. So similarly there are the marker called uracil biosynthesis marker. There are so many marker genes that those can be inserted in this yeast artificial chromosome cloning vector. So this yeast artificial chromosome is digested with wide range of restriction enzymes. So there is a multiple cloning site or else polylinker ligated. So this polylinker can be digested by many restriction enzymes. So the artificial chromosome that is generated using yeast gene, that is called SUP, that allows visual monitoring of this vector, and we can able to select visual monitoring, and we'll know that whether it has the yeast cell gets transferred or not with the help of the coloration in the colonies. Then it is easy for selection. Similarly there is another one. These are the marker gene SUP. Then URA3, it is involved in uracil biosynthesis. So then another TRIP1, so involved in tryptophan biosynthesis, and this is called the sub. This is a marker gene. The host cell are normally red. Those transformed, they are become colorless. So this is how. These are the marker genes, so those are used specific for the selection when we are replicating this cloning vector in the yeast cells. Then similarly, you know what exactly AMPER, that is the ampicillin resistance gene, that allows positive selection by ampicillin resistance to the the bacteria. So what are the applications? So this yeast artificial chromosomes easily replicate in yeast host cell and can be easily detected, and it can accommodate a large, the complete, the gene can be inserted and expressed. Just imagine more than 2000 kilobase pair. So it is extensively used in so many genome project, human genome project, Drosophila genome project, rice genome project, and other genome projects. And you can see, so then we can bring transgenic changes, transgenic mice, pigs, all these this vector is very useful, and that transgenic changes will remain for a longer duration, you can see. So they are used to express eukaryotic proteins that require post translational modifications. So cloning using this yeast artificial chromosome remains stable and intact. So that's why you can see usually there's sometimes, after sometimes they lose the desired gene after some generation, but this cloning will be very stable. So they are intact within the mammalian cells also. So this chromosome behavior in this is very helpful to study the behavior of the chromosome during mitosis without the destabilizing native chromosomes. So this is a you can see the yeast artificial chromosome representing continuous stretches of genomic DNA, so have provided a physical map framework for the human. So this is what I said, the human genome project, mouse genome project, and all this, you can see. So this is for you, to remember the plasmid, it can accept only is about 10 kilobase pairs. For then the bacteriophage 10 to 20 kilobase pairs. Then cosmid 35 to 45 or 50. So this is what you can see. This is the advantage of using yeast artificial chromosome. Thank you.